Hi everyone, we're here for the second round of FXR, a brand new league on F1 2020 for Xbox One, and it is the Bahrain Grand Prix today. We head into this one then having won the first race of the season then and getting the fastest lap, so we've had pretty much the perfect start to the season and best thing we could have hoped for really, and we obviously want to try and expand on that one today then. And I'm glad to say that there were actually a few more people this week. We had, not sure how many, but actually I think we had 13 or 14, so that was pretty good. We unfortunately still had a few issues though. I mean, obviously you expect sort of like teething issues obviously very early on, but it's more really to do with Xbox Live, to be fair. Just some connection issues which delayed things, which was a bit unfortunate, and it meant that we ended up doing just a short qualifying for this one, but still managed to see it get underway and get another race inside. Obviously always very good, and yeah, we'll see then how we can do this time. Bahrain, historically not one of my stronger tracks, but I was still hoping for a decent result here then. We did set a decent sector 2 time there, so I was hoping that this would put us a bit up the field then. Obviously a bit of a mix actually I think between mediums and soft for some people. I did initially do a lap on mediums, but I decided that soft tyres would be the better ones to start on. We do improve then to 3rd place with Psycho Swish then. He's gone back to his old name then, FXR Vettel. He's gone back to his old name then for this one. He's on pole position, and Korg is 2nd, and then Assassin 3rd. No Pyro or Jono this week, who were very close to us in Australia. I don't know where Pyro was, but Jono I believe is a reserve, and he also had some connection issues on this evening, so that was unfortunate for him there then. But should still be a good race at the front, I think. As we look then at the strategy, that is not what we're going to be doing, but it doesn't let me do the one that I wanted to do, which was a one stop. We're going to start on the soft tyres. We're going to try and eke them out as much as we can and go on to hard for the rest of the race, so we should be able to do that, and I think that'll be the best thing for us to do. I imagine certainly Psycho Switch will probably be doing that as well, so yeah, it should be an interesting race then. What we can't afford though is to let him get away at the front, because we did a test race here and I just remember that he pulled away quite comfortably at the front once he managed to break the DRS there. So I think, yeah, this time we've got to make sure that we don't let him get away at the front, and it could be yeah, a good battle for the lead then. I hadn't really raced Quarg that much, so I was interested to see how he'd do as well. Could be an interesting 3-way fight here, and we saw Manzi on the podium last night as well. So we're here on the grid then. It's looking like it could be a very good race here then, as we have now got everyone lined up, and we have got the lights coming on now. Away we go then, and we had a pretty good launch there. I think we were getting alongside Quark here then. We're closing in on Swish. We tried to go for a gap, but there just wasn't one there unfortunately on the inside for us, so we're just going to have to try and go around the outside here then, and we're going to still be up to 2nd place then as Korg and Manzi are battling behind us. And yeah, we've taken 2nd place then, but Swish then is already yep, out in front then, trying to build up that lead, and that is what we can't afford to let him do then. We've got to try and stick with him if we can, and not let him break away before the DRS is activated at the end of lap 2. So it's going to be certainly a bit of a challenge then, but we're managing to just about stick with him then. You see the replay of the start, and we did have a good launch there then, I think, compared to the top 2. I really wanted to try and go for that gap in the middle, but it just wasn't there. A little bit of contact with Korg, and it looked like he was actually lagging a bit there as well, so that was a bit unfortunate there. But yeah, just the gap wasn't there for us. We had to stick to the outside line, and well, we still gained a place at least, but yeah, it was a bit unfortunate there that we couldn't maybe go for a lunge on into turn 1, but would have been a bit risky I think. Nonetheless then, on to the end of lap 1, and Swish obviously knew what he had to do there, trying to break the slipstream down the pit straight. He does not want us following him. Then he wants to, you know, get that 1 second and then control the race from there. And well, we're trying, we're giving everything to see if we can put a stop to that. We're really pushing harder than we want to really, because the soft tyres are very marginal. You can do a 1 stop, but it is quite marginal here. They do drop off quite quickly, so yeah, we're certainly pushing maybe a bit harder than we want to, but still Swish pushing very hard at the front, and he has just about got that 1 second then advantage now then as we head on to lap, well, at the end of lap 2, but I mean the first DRS activation won't be until the back straight, so yeah, he's going to be clear before he's going to be well clear before we get to that. Another fastest lap there, and I think now we just have to try and settle into a rhythm if we can and make sure we manage our toe air as best we can. But still, we didn't do too badly then. The gap only opened up by a few more tenths than over that stint. We were only still a second half behind by the time we got to lap 8, as we got a back marker there of Kev running wide there and allowing us both through. But yeah, it was still very close. I thought I was expecting him to be a bit further up the road. Once he got out of DRS range, I was thinking he was going to be well off up the road, but we managed to keep in our sights then for all of this first stint. And the thing is, I just wasn't really sure where to pit now then. I thought maybe lap 9 would be a bit too early and it would be a bit of a challenge to get hards to the end. I didn't pay attention to my tyre wear though, and then a bit of a shock there to see that it was on 69%, because I had been putting on about 6% per lap, so I really had to pit at the end of this lap or else yeah, I was going to be in puncture range. I wasn't really sure when to pit though, that was the thing. I just thought maybe the hards wouldn't be able to go 20 laps maybe, but looking back up was they probably could have done without too much difficulty, as we see there then through turn 12 the back end got very loose. Still, we weren't really losing much time. I think Swish was right on the edge with his tyres as well, I'm guessing. We're just going to stick with our strategy though, go on to the hard tyres. We're probably going to be following him exactly here then. He would not be staying out another lap, I don't think. So we're both going to come in then, and obviously looking back I probably would have pitted on the previous lap, maybe just to try something a bit different, because I mean if used soft tyres could go on 9 laps, then yeah, you'd think hard tyres then obviously 2 like grades up would probably go twice that easily, more than twice that I should say. But yeah, we were comfortably clear then at least of everyone else behind us. It looked like actually everyone else was doing a 2-stop here then, because they all pitted before us, and they're still quite a way behind us, so it's really still a 2-horse race if that at the front, as he actually managed to battle a bit of a gap then during that pit stop phase. I don't know if I was just a bit quicker going into the pits there or just a bit faster out, but yeah, a bit more of a gap then to try and close down now then 2.5 seconds. And I don't know, I think it's just a bit of a recurring thing for me, seeing in the last few games. Just the harder tyres, I just find it a bit hard to switch them on sometimes. I tend to find my pace later on in these stints on the harder tyres. I don't know what it is, but it just seemed to be a bit of a recurring thing for me. And in only a few more laps, the gap was out by another, well, more than another second then. It was close to 4 seconds, so it was starting to look like our chance of winning, whilst they weren't that high probably, yeah, they were just a little bit lower now then. But we did, as I say, regain some pace as we had a few more laps on the tyres, and we did actually manage to close the gap down by overall about a second over about 6 laps, so we certainly found a bit of speed there as we see the racing point off the road there again, a couple of laps down now I think. So we were certainly closing in, but just I don't think enough really, with 10 laps to go to really be a threat unless he gets some penalties. But yeah, by lap 27 he put that gap back out then over 3 seconds, so it wasn't looking like a penalty would make a difference here. So I did the only thing I could do to maybe score more points today, and that was to come in then for a fresh set of tyres and go for the fastest lap. I still had a fresh set left over from qualifying, so had that to put on there then, and Korg was half a minute behind, so yeah, it was quite comfortable here for us then to be able to pit here and then yeah, still be second place. So, and then obviously just do this lap then to charge up the battery, take it easy on the engine, and then push on the final lap. So yeah, that was really a no risk strategy really, to be fair for us then. That was the one upside of us being in second place and not looking likely to win, is that we really had nothing at all to lose there from making that pit stop. So that's what we did then, and we just got to see if we could hook up this final lap now then, and we should get another fastest lap here then, another bonus point. So yeah, this was one of those races where it was really good. Like, when you're actually in it, when you're actually driving. But it's one of those ones where it just doesn't really translate into a good video because there wasn't an actual like wheel-to-wheel battle. But like when you're in it, it's really exciting because it's very close. Like even though Swish did have an advantage over me, like our lap times overall were quite similar at times. He built up the gap very gradually over me. We got it back down at times. So it was just one of those like very tense races where we were both just pushing really hard for the win. It's just like all times really. There were always times in the past where we'd be battling for the lead. He'd have just that little bit extra than me on quite a few occasions. But yeah, it's just one of those ones that it just doesn't really translate into a video because there's not really like a battle to watch. So yeah, I'm sorry if this wasn't the best video, but I still think it was a good race though, and I hope that I managed to at least still make a decent video out of it then. As nonetheless then, we're going to come out the final corner now then, and it's going to be another podium then, a second place finish and 2 fastest laps out of 2 there then, as we take it on the final lap once again there. And yeah, we see now then the podium, and it is nice to see Michael Schumacher back in a Ferrari on the top step of the podium there. So yeah, well done to Jordan for picking him as his character there, I guess. So yeah, there's our top 3 then, is Korg, who joined us then on the podium. So yeah, the top 3 from qualifying then, but just slightly different order from how it was there then. There are the final results with Swish taking the win. We were second and Korg in third. Yeah, as I was saying, I think we maybe had a chance if we had pitted a lap earlier, but I think Swish probably had the advantage here, but maybe we would have had a couple of laps of battling maybe if I'd pitted earlier, but no, I don't think it really affected the result though, that staying out 1 extra lap. Championship standings then, I'm not sure if I'll have them on the screen or not, but yeah, I'll be in the lead of the championship then on 45 points I believe then, with a first, a second and 2 fastest laps. I believe Manzi then is second then with 27 because he's had a third and a fourth, and then Swish will be in third place on 25 points. So looking good at this stage then, got the lead at this point, but obviously still a very long way to go, and still, well yeah, a lot of fast drivers then in this league. So that is it then for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. Next time then will be our first ever league race in Vietnam, so I'll see you for that one then.